Give your child an education and not just schooling. I call it real world relevant education. If you want her to achieve real and lasting success in life. Now, I've been speaking about this for more than 20 years, and reading so many articles on best practice parenting and schooling. That's what I call it, BPPS. But every once in a while I look for an expert authority, somebody who has real world experience that is verifiable, that can who offers to share his or her wisdom about life based on having gone through the school system. And someone like Reno Omokri is just one of many examples. I've talked about Gary Vaynerchuk. The video before this one featured him. Okay, I did a review of his 3-minute viral video, the interview he granted on the school system being dead. Okay, why the school system is outdated. And Reno Omokri has been saying a few things also. Very, very, very practical-minded man, and he's been hitting the nail on his head. But many Nigerians are still not listening, so I chose to highlight 2 of his posts he did on Facebook that I chose to endorse by sharing them and commenting on them as well to my own network. There's also been this gentleman, Robert Kiyosaki, okay, whose work has influenced my thinking a lot, and without him, honestly, I won't be where I am today. So let me not waste time. Reno himself has been. It's good to be able to hear from a Nigerian who is accomplished, what he thinks about the school system. All right, so let's go. Well, first of all, maybe I just share this on my. I have a newsletter, Best Practice Parenting and Schooling magazine. All right, so it's a newsletter stroke magazine. It's just like a small bulletin. So in it, I published the print version of this article I wrote way back in 2003. Then I actually published it online in 2008. Okay, I submitted it to easandarticles.com. So it's titled "Is Your Child Learning for School or for Life?" And I was writing it based on my personal experiences, what I'd gone through, and I was looking at what I was going to teach my kids, and I was making up my mind, saying, "Man, I am not going to let these children go through this kind of schooling I got, because this schooling did not prepare me for the real world of Nigeria." You know, if you listen to my other videos, you understand what I'm saying. If you're looking for paid employment, you want to thrive in paid employment, go for conventional schooling, go for the formal schooling system that's available. Most times it prepares you just for that paid employment. But if you want to succeed in the real world, because at some point in your life you will need paid employment, you will need paid employment, you need to go into the real world. If you want to succeed in the real world, you need more than what school will give you. I tell you that. All right, so maybe I just quickly mention this. The video versions of this presentation is watch the video version of this presentation at this address. The thing is, if you are watching this video now, then what you want to understand is, if you want to download this slideshow as a PowerPoint file, then go to this URL. You see it on that page. It's on my blog. So either way, if you're watching the video, if you're looking at the slideshow, you can get the video on that page, and if you're watching the video, you can get the slideshow on that page as well. All right, so let's move on. So this is the first of the 2 posts that Reno did. Okay, he said, "Dear unemployed," okay, no. Yeah, it says yes. "Dear unemployed graduates, stop complaining that you have not got a job after many years. Nobody owes you a job, including government. You have a degree, not a guarantee. Rather than complain, go learn a useful physical skill and use it to employ yourself. You go to school to learn. You don't go to school because you want a job. Education is meant to empower you to employ yourself. There are literally millions of illiterates who employ themselves. They are better than idle degree holders." I challenge, you see, I agree with him, that's why I endorsed it. But also I challenge the thinking behind it in some sense. Look, there's a difference between education and schooling. I'll talk about that in a different video. Okay, you see here I said schooling versus education. What people are going for is called schooling, and it's more of an ego trip in today's world than it used to be in those days of our parents and their ancestors. So the thing is, you don't say, what do you mean you go to school to learn? Yes, to learn what? Society is sending you to school. It's a scam now. That's the problem. The real world today has made school become a scam. In the old days, it wasn't a scam. You could have been assured that if you finish school, something was waiting for you that will reward you for the time you spent learning in school. Why go to school to learn when what you're going to learn is going to be useless to you in the real world? That's why I said I differ to some extent in the thinking here. I understand what he's saying and I agree 100% with him. Stop complaining. Get yourself a physical skill. But the point is, why go to the school system at all and become a graduate if it's not going to help you to be able to meet your needs in the world? As an adult, financial needs, interpersonal needs, All those things that going to school is supposed to get for you, how come it's no longer happening today? Because the world has changed. What the world needs for you to succeed is different now. So the point I'm making therefore is, why go and get a degree at all if it's not going to help you? Why not just go to a vocational skills training center and get trained for 3 to 6 months and get out and begin to function in the real world? Then in your spare time, get a degree if you think that will help your ego, if you think it will help your status, whatever it is. But the PhD holders that cannot feed themselves, what's the point? Then a 16-year-old is making all the money. I talked about in John Oseni in a previous video. Njoko Emmanuel. There's so many of them anyway. So the point is, why go to school? Why go through the traditional school system when you can go through a customized educational system for yourself? Schooling is different from education. I'll talk about it in a different video. But at least I hope you understand what I've said here. Reno is making a powerful point. They are unemployed graduates. Stop sitting around waiting for people to come and give you a job because you have a piece of paper. Go and get a skill, because that thing you studied, if you studied sociology, psychology, all those things, many times in this part of the world, you're on a long thing. Go and get a real skill that can solve problems for people. Once you do that, you will not have a problem taking care of yourself. And you can see I said, sorry, dear, I was responding to him. Sorry, dear graduate, I feel your pain. If only someone had warned you to enroll on the side for income earning vocational skills training based on your unique talent or passion right from your first year in university, you will not be in this job hunting fix you face now. Again, I challenge even myself. What do you mean first year in university? There's no point. What's the point of going to university then? Why do you need a university education if it's not going to help you do what is the most critical thing in your life? Money is your priority after God. If you don't have it, the whole society will kick you around and mess you up. Therefore, if the university education you're going to get is not going to enable you to get money to take care of yourself and your family, you need to rethink the idea of going there. Now, I said, see how you are now being told that unschooled people are better off. For those of you still pushing your kids blindly through exclusive book learning, I hope they don't turn around and accuse you of misleading them when they graduate. Look at the many people in society today. Look at that guy called Portable. How much schooling does he have? But he's going to the UK. How many of the people who have university degrees at PhD level can afford to travel or even have the celebrity status this guy enjoys? So let's get real, man. We're deceiving ourselves. The school system as it's currently designed is a scam. All right, the second post Reno did, I can't even remember when it was he did it, so the date is not here, but he said every single thing you learned in school for 16 years can be sourced in a few seconds by a Google search. So if you watch the I'm talking now, I'm not reading stuff anymore. If you've watched the Gary Vaynerchuk video, you know he said that within a second Siri can tell you the answers on Google, on the internet. You can use Google to get anything you want. So why do you need to memorize anything? Why do you need to know anything? You can get all the answers you want at a fraction of a second. So the motivation to study is gone. That's why the youths of today don't want to study, because they're thinking, why do I want to study all this when I can Google it? So you need to show them something else. You need to help them with the creativity dimension. Help them to understand that they now have to become the ones that create those systems like Google and Siri. That's where they begin to feel that they can add value. If not, they're thinking, why am I reinventing the wheel? The children are smart. They know that what they're telling them to do does not make sense. That's why they're resisting it. That's why many of them are cutting corners in school. That's why there's so much cheating now, because even when you cheat and you come out, you know that you can't tell the difference between the guy that cheated and the one that didn't cheat. Ultimately, okay, let me go back. I think I moved back a step. Previous. He said every single thing you learned in school for 16 years can be sourced in a few seconds by a Google search. So don't let your degrees make you arrogant. Don't think it guarantees you success. The world has changed. Skills now matter more than many degrees. A man with a master's degree in literature or history or any of such liberal arts is not in as high as a demand as a fashion designer or a coder or a skilled motor mechanic or even a farmer in today's world. It sounds brutal, but that is because it is true. The man is I've been singing this thing for since 2003 when I began writing on the web. 2005, 2003 I began writing paper form. I was printing and trying to sell my ideas. I was telling people, based on my own experiences, I was saying, man, all these things we went to get to university, with few exceptions, man, they are completely irrelevant to the needs of today's world. So I'm saying, if you have a child, begin to educate your child in a manner that prepares him successfully and effectively for the real world, so that he doesn't get a rude shock when he finishes all those 5, 6, 7 years of study and then finally it was just like a waste of time. He could have been out there 7 years before and getting some powerful skills and getting a lot of experience under his belt. That is what you need to understand. The world has changed. Skills are what matter now. Problem solving skills are what matter now. So you see what I said? It's all about skills today and into the future. I've been screaming this truth for years on my blog and here on Facebook. No matter your field of interest, acquire problem solving skills if you want to have a competitive edge. Right? So this is one of the articles I wrote. You can be successful and unhappy. That's very possible. You need it. I mean, a lot of people are in financially rewarding jobs, but they're not happy because the jobs are not what they want to do. Then sometimes the jobs are very stressful. They travel hours and hours and they get no rest. So what's the point? You need education that helps you achieve success and happiness, not certificates and compliments. So, and I said on the right here, if you look at the right here, I said some people won't listen to this warning unless they hear it said by a white person. My apologies, but this is the truth. There's a lot of colonial mentality. Some people still want to see a white person saying it before they believe it. If a black man like Reno is saying it, or myself, they won't listen. So I said, it's the truth. So if that's what it would take to get you to give your child a better education that makes him or her truly happy and successful in life, I said, and I'll give you a white expert saying the same thing. So I said, I've actually quoted some over the years in making my case based on my own personal experiences for people to choose real world relevant income earning skills-based education over conventional academics schooling. Robert Kiyosaki, Saken Robinson, Elon Musk, Jack Ma, what's his name? There's so many of them like that. Okay, they've said the same thing, that the conventional schooling system is dead, cannot help people anymore. That's why the companies that these big named people run today do not demand of you to have a university degree. The biggest companies in the world, you heard what's his name? Gary Vaynerchuk say it in his video. They don't require a degree anymore. So what's all this nonsense? Okay, now I said the most recent white-skinned person I found speaking this badly near truth is Gary Vaynerchuk. So these are people that have succeeded by going against what the so-called convention is regarding schooling and education. And it's very sad that even up till now, some parents in Nigeria insist on pushing their kids through this nonsense. Well, if you're listening to this and you're a young person still with your parents and your parents are pushing you, understand that you have a right to live your life, to take the right decision that benefits you. The stories of Joko Manel and Co are enough to let you know that you can actually pursue a different path and you can succeed at it. Right? I wish you well. If you have questions or you need help making use of the ideas I've shared here, get across to me. Cheers.